In this tutorial, what we want to do is look at how to use a comic master where we built all the layouts or the panel layouts on the slide master in PowerPoint. So if we go into View, Slide Masters, you can see I've got a number of layouts in here. And then when you build your own, you can build as many layouts as you want. I created this. I make it available to the eLearning Heroes site so you can download it and use it however you want to. But you can create as many panels as you want. A few things that I would think you have to consider. One is each panel, there's got to be different information in each panel. And so you've got to figure out how to transition from one panel to the next, or how to guide the flow of information from one panel to the next. In this case, I have three panels, so I've got to think about three different things I've got to compose and put in the panels. If I had 5 panels, then that's 5 things I've got to think about. So the more panels you add to the screen, that much more content you've got to figure out what to do with. So I kind of limited myself to mostly 3, and that keeps it somewhat simple. The other thing is it keeps the slides from getting real cluttered. So let's go ahead and look at how we would work with this. So when you want to create a slide, what you do is just go to New Slide, and you can see you can choose your panel, and we'll just choose the opposite one here. So I've got this, and let's say I want to add another slide, and I might have something that kind of looks like that. So that's how the panels work. Now when you're working with content, one of the things you want to think about is all of these are on the master layouts. So if I add something to this, so let's say I add an image, and I add the image to the upper panel, I've got to work within this framework, so within the panel. So the challenge though is working with content on top of that. Now I can crop the image and do all of that, but what I would do is just kind of build out the general look in the panel. So let's say I've got something like this. I've got my look. I'm going to add a text bubble here. So let's say I'm going to scale this down a little. I'm going to add my text bubble or cloud, whatever we want to call that. So this looks kind of good. I'm happy with this here. Let's make us size this down a little. So I'm happy with this the way it looks right now. As you can see, everything's kind of running over the panel. That's okay. All I need to do is I'm going to select these. I'm going to group them. And if you're working with PowerPoint 2007 and 10, you can open up the selection pane. So just go to Home, Select, and then there's your selection pane. And I'm going to call this group. We'll call this Original, and this might be for Panel 1, so we can call Original Panel 1. So I kind of know what's there. So I'm going to group this. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to hide this now. And I'm going to do Paste. And I want to paste this in as an image. So I can paste as an image here, or you can do Paste Special. Now at this point, I've kind of got what I wanted framed up, and then I can just come in here, line it up, and then I'm going to crop it. So I can crop this up to fit in the panel, and so anything I put in there, and I can save it, paste it as an image, and now it's going to look like it's part of that cartoon panel. So it's got that kind of cartoon look, and it's fitting in the panel exactly the way I want it to. And then I can add some text in here. Let's add a little text box. Say, I am talking in cartoon. One thing that makes cartoon comics look good is that kind of comic, that informal comic font. This is actually one place where Comic Sans works. So if you want to use Comic Sans, I actually have a font called Comic Book, so I can use that. So that looks really good. And let's make that a little larger. So let's say I'm happy with that. And now what I want to do is one other thing. What makes these comics really pop, I think, are the bold colors and the kind of in-your-face graphics. So just go to your Slide Master. So I'm going to go to the Slide Master here. I'm going to duplicate that so I don't accidentally delete it. So in this first panel here, I'm going to just add a real bright fill color. So we'll do like orange. So now when I close this and I change the layout, you get that kind of real colorful popping cartoon. You can put whatever you want to in the background, but you can kind of see how you get that. So build your layouts, work with your masters, work with the originals, paste those and crop them, and everything will look cool.